Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan, and we have a special guest today.
And I'm Marley Silverbrand. You always say, and we have a special guest.
I want to fucking introduce you! Shut up, you!
It always throws me off because I thought we were just going around like the.
Just let me get this in, Marley. One second. Special guest, 1 sec. You'll fuck it up. No.
All right.
Just put your hand over his mouth and be like, no. I go fucking next. No guest goes before us.
Well, it's just one of those things. It's always just you and me, so I just figured let's acknowledge special guest.
And we have a special guest.
Yeah, and a special guest.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I'm Marley Silverbrand, by the way, if you didn't hear.
Marley, I know Ryan didn't get this because there's, reasons that God has chosen why he can't get this at the moment, but did you get Gears of War 4? Which is Gears of War Judgement?
No, I didn't. I've been
God has chosen that why Ryan can't have it. You said you can't have special things.
I sold my Xbox, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You mentioned that.
Mine's still not working.
And I actually kind of want to get a new Xbox just to play Gears of War Judgement.
They're so cheap now that I saw there was a sale for one for like $70.
Yeah.
On like eBay or Amazon, one of the others.
For an Xbox 360? Yeah.
There was one. I almost bought it, but it was one of those things where it's like, this will take all the money I have for the next week and a half. They had a PS3, and it was the $300 one, and it was $220 brand new, free shipping, no tax.
Oh jeez.
I was like, I had to use like 3 different accounts to buy this, and I will literally have like $3 left the last week and a half.
Yeah.
I was kind of bummed though I still didn't get it, but whatever.
Yeah.
As well as with the PS3, I don't know why they. If you ever look at them, they never say or sell a PS3 by itself. It always comes with shit you don't need.
Like 2 controllers and then
and a games and a fucking like DVD remote.
And a little big Planet Stuffed Animal or some bullshit.
No, but they literally don't sell. And they're always like the rape hard drive, like 500 gigs. And it's like, well, what am I going to use? I mean, if you install your games on there, they load a little bit faster. But still, it's like one's like...
You don't need it.
Yeah.
I have a 20 gig Xbox, and I've never really had too much of a problem. I mean, I got a couple other little memory things plugged in, but... I haven't really had too much of a problem.
Yeah.
Why do I, I mean, I just feel like I'm paying $300 for this. Really, you could just sell me a PS3 for $200, and that's all I want because I'm gonna go out and buy old used games anyways.
Well, I got my first PS3 when Uncharted 3 came out, and I got the Uncharted 1 and 2 bundle and the Uncharted 3 bundle for PS3.
How much was that?
That was like $300 altogether. So.
Yeah, because that's how most of them are. It's like the cheapest one I saw. It's $250, just including that sale, but like just regular price on Amazon, $250, and it comes with that PlayStation Super Smash Brothers Battle Royale or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And
Should get excited.
No, because of Ratchet and Clank collection.
When I hear that,
and the stupid DVD remote.
When I hear Battle Royale for a second, I get excited. Like PlayStation Battle Royale, I'm just thinking the Japanese movie Battle Royale. I'm like, that's it. Oh wait, no,
it's PlayStation All Stars.
PlayStation All Stars. That's what it's called.
PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale or whatever. Yeah.
Well, you look at that though, and you're like, there's not that many cool characters though. Well, and that's what everybody said. They say it plays great.
But Sony doesn't have a lot of good franchises.
Well, if you look at it, half the characters aren't even Sony franchise guys. They
yeah,
literally had to go
the BioShock guys.
Please just come over and hang out.
Well, they even have Dante from the new Devil May Cry, which is on Xbox 360 too, by the way.
Yeah, and so is BioShock, and so is Raiden from Metal Gear Rising.
And it doesn't. Characters don't even fly off the screen in All Stars either. Which is
Nintendo
the selling
point. That?
Which is the selling point with Smash Brothers.
Well, how do you kill them? Do they just have a health bar?
They have a health bar, and I haven't played it. I played the demo, but it's
that's
just
close enough.
Yeah.
Even though I've learned that demos can lead you into you play a demo sometimes, you're like, this game is so fucking cool, and you go out to get the real game, you're like, oh, this is nothing like the demo.
Yeah.
Enter the Matrix.
Yeah, or Brave Fencer Musashi.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it wasn't a demo, but it was
that game, because you play when you play the demo for 5 minutes, that game was like, oh man, this is hella fun.
You realize that's all the game was though. I'm a Matrix fan, and I'm just kind of, you could have done better.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Was that the Enter?
That was the very first
Enter
one.
the Matrix. I think it's called Enter the Matrix. It's the one that takes place between Matrix 2 and 3.
Oh, that one's really bad.
Yeah.
Well, I remember playing that on PS2.
It's actually more playing along with Matrix 2 is Ghost and Niobe.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's 2K. It's one of those ones you kind of go, oh, those characters are kind of cool. I was thinking of playing as Neo. At least they kind of gave you that path in Neo one finally.
Yeah, which that game was pretty good. It could have been better, but it was pretty good.
Sometimes those movie games. Sometimes you got to kind of look at them sort of as. Don't expect it to be the greatest game. Just enjoy it for what it is. Because most of those movie games, the one thing that makes them different though is they mostly do things that regular games don't do. Like, I was reading a review of, like, the 007 Legends, and somebody was saying, like, everybody talks crap sometimes on these games, but it's like, this game's awesome.
That's actually a good game.
Yeah, and they're like, well, how many games do you go skiing and shooting at the same time? And they mostly always do things that, like, regular games,
Do they just put Craig in place of other 007s, or is it...
No, yeah, they do the
that.
GoldenEye thing where, like, they put Daniel Craig as the main Bond.
Yeah.
It's almost like they want children to forget that there was other Bonds.
Yeah.
Which is that's kind of
I
annoying.
don't like that.
Because here's the
Pierce
thing,
Brosnan is like he's the only traditional Bond. I like Daniel Craig.
Well, the thing is, because they made From Russia with Love, and like if they did in the style they did like nowadays, Pierce Brosnan would have been in that game. But no, they got Sean Connery, even though he's like 88 years old. And you see like a young Sean Connery, but you're like, let's go now, pretty.
Does maybe...
It's just like it's so like it's kind of like old, but it's still cool that he did the voice. Though that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Does like fucking like Daniel Craig just like bust into EA games like guess what
Oh no, it's Daniel Craig.
just start like punching fucking heads in like you take Roger Moore out, take George Lazenby out, I don't give a fuck.
I'm
It's
Bond
almost-
now.
Like
I don't know why I say it in an American
having
accent.
Sean Connery do that voice, it's almost as like awkward as Tron Legacy when Jeff Bridges is doing like young Jeff Bridges, old Jeff Bridges is doing young Jeff Bridges. It's just like it just looks weird.
They did a good job though on that though. I really like
It looks
how
creepy.
A lot of people didn't like Tron. Like, oh, he was a bad
Dude,
guy.
I
so
love
it made
Tron
sense.
Legacy.
Well, I like
yeah,
Tron
that's
Legacy.
true.
A lot
But
of people-
it's kind of like the Uncanny Valley. Just like
that part. I'll be honest. That it didn't make me well up or nothing, but it actually really touched me. There's that part where like evil Jeff Bridges is like, "We were gonna change the world." He's like on the verge of tears almost.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Why would you do this?" And like old Jeff Bridges is like, "Cause he's my son." Just holds on that shot for a second. I know it's cheesy
sits down like, okay, we occupy a back room in a closed video game store. That's all this world is. No one's been in here since 1996.
and then what's the guy's name? The guy that was in Footloose discovers the.
Wait,
I wanted to say Alex Pettifer, but that's not him.
Alex pedophile.
I was gonna say Kevin Bacon. You mean the
Like-
new Footloose?
Yeah, that's us
Well,
too.
yeah, the new Footloose.
The new Footloose, making my mind
Which
go
actually,
inside.
I saw on Netflix for free. Actually, isn't that bad?
Really?
Yeah.
That's sometimes how those movies kind of turn out. You watch them and
Yeah.
you're like, they're not that bad,
Yeah.
Let the hype die. Let that like old man sitting in the back corner
Yeah.
like, oh shit, you didn't know about Footloose and Batman Footloose. Fuck you.
But when I was watching it, I was just kind of like, why am I watching a Footloose movie in the year 2012? It was like, or
Well, the main thing to me,
2013.
it's like I don't know,
why do we need to remake Footloose?
Oh, Grandpa's angry that they changed his Footloose. Oh, God damn it, my Footloose.
I felt like an old man sitting there when I watched that trailer because I'm like, now they're throwing in the old hip hoppity Mexican jiving, like free
Where the fuck
flowing.
is Kenny Loggins?
Yeah, where's my Kenny?
Oh yeah.
No Footloose, I remember. Times are changing, and I ain't changing with them.
This is what Bob Dylan was talking about, and I ain't happy about it.
He says that the kids nowadays are going to be doing the hippity hoppity, and we can't let them do it. Have you ever sometimes met like old hippie people too? Like sometimes you think of a hippie person being like, oh, free flowing and stuff, but then sometimes they go like, they get to these people. It's like Bob Dylan and John Lennon are the only two people you should listen to. If you're listening to other stuff, you're listening to shit.
I noticed that. No, because there's one time, some old hippies get actually very confrontational and very angry. Because there's one time I was working for like the student magazine for a very brief amount of time. We were looking around for ads, like seeing if we can get some, like people to sponsor it. Mm-hmm. So we stopped at this one hippie store, this hippie store that was there very briefly. Now there's this one called, I'm not gonna say
Benjamin
the name.
Figs?
You said it, but yeah, there's that one.
What's wrong with Benjamin Figs?
That guy probably doesn't listen to internet. Anyway, so
He doesn't listen to
Watch,
internet.
he's like a fan. He's like a fan. He's like, I heard you, Ryan. I'm coming after you.
well, some of the shit people make a big deal about, but who knows? You probably never fucking.
A lot of times
hear this.
hippies get angry though, but they don't move very fast.
Yeah. Although
They get angry.
all those tabs of E they took back in the '60s. No,
Because he stands up, his back cracks. He's like, "Oh, well, wait a second. I gotta let this one ride."
Will you play some Jerry Garcia for me while I just set this one thing sit out for a second? No, anyway, so there's that store, which has been there for a while. And then there's a newer one that wasn't there too long. We go to the newer one, and we're asking the guy for sponsors. And he's all like, well, I'm not sure. I guess I can give you some. I mean, the guy down the street, I don't know about him. Me and him don't see eye to eye. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's just like, well, I just opened a month ago, and that guy came in saying I was trying to steal his business, and he was like he was threatening me and this and that. So I started
He's just in there with like a small baseball bat, just breaking shit.
I didn't see that. I see him going in there with like a little fucking like hemp beanie and just like straddling in there, just like, listen to me, you fucking pussy. I delivered the Woodstock baby. I will challenge you to a hacky sack match right now. Starts like kicking hacky sack right there in front of him.
I went to Nam to save children. What did you do?
Oh yeah, you listen to Fish, So yeah.
But speaking of hippies, Gears of War Judgement is pretty badass.
Yeah.
Speaking of hippies, because I totally think of hippies when I think of a machine gun with a chainsaw on it.
And steroid-driven Marcus Phoenix.
There's actually Marcus Phoenix is only in there in voice.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like Dom.
Yeah,
no, it's not Dom. It's
no, it's
Baird.
Baird is the main character, and
Which is
Cole.
like
It's the Baird and Cole story, which is pretty badass.
Yeah, which is
That sounds like a sitcom.
Because it's really like because Baird and Cole are kind of like the side characters, but they're really the coolest characters in the game, though.
Even though I like both those characters, they really are kind of like very stereotypical black guy, very stereotypical white guy, but they're best friends.
Oh yeah, because you get Baird because he is all like the stereotypical white guy. He's kind of like he's afraid to trust. He doesn't. He's not too sure about situations. He's really good at machines and like electronics. And then Cole, he's big and loud and happy.
Yeah, going woo, woo.
And yeah, into the sports and everything.
Cole's friend, baby!
Two stereotypes. Best friends. Unity.
Just have a picture of the two of them shaking hands. Unity. Just like that.
I know.
Be a good motivational poster.
But no, this
I
game's
saw
pretty
some
badass.
reviews and it looks really cool. It looks completely different.
Well, they changed the controls slightly. So at first, like, you keep going to, like, pull up your little, like, menu thing, like, I'm lost. Where am I? And then you chuck a grenade against the wall and it comes back and you're like, oh, fuck.
Well, I like it because it has, like, arcade elements to it. Like, it ranks you at the end of every single mission. It has, like, 3 stars.
Every time it has kind of ranks. And the kind of cool thing is they take that horde mode and they kind of, like, place it in the campaign.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, oh, fuck, shit's going down. Get prepared, everybody. Get your weapons. And then, like, the enemies start coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I never even played...
I was watching like this Twitch.tv like game broadcaster. His name's Matthew Riccio. Game time with Riccio. Go check it out. Twitch.tv. Sorry for the shameless plug.
Death stairs.
But like I thought he was playing horde mode for like these 2 hours. I was watching him play it, and it was. And I asked the
horde
question.
mode doesn't really last that long, though. I mean,
I was asking him just like is this horde mode? And he's just like, no, it's the campaign. I'm just like, what the fuck? Just
whenever they have the horde thing, it only lasts for like 2 rounds. It's like almost like just 2 rounds of horde each time.
Yeah.
It doesn't last forever, and then you kind of go back.
Well, 2 hours is an exaggeration.
I'll be honest, I never really got... as far as Gears of War goes, is I got to like the 2nd or 3rd level on co-op with you, Spencer, when you got Gears of War 3.
Well, horde is one of those ones like you really only play that mode if you got somebody else. Like you wouldn't play it by yourself.
So I'm like one of the 3 people in the whole world that doesn't know how Gears of War 3 ends.
No, it's in Gears of War 2 horde.
No, I'm just talking about the game itself.
Oh,
the game
okay.
in general.
I know how, but I never beat the game because someone spoiled it for me.
Really?
Yeah, that's gonna stop you from being in the game?
Just because they
pisses
spoiled
you
the
off.
ending. I'm just like, what's the point? Why am
That
I
doesn't bother me. Like I'm one of those people like you could spoil an ending to me, and it's like, yeah, you kind of get it, but you don't see it like what happens. Like somebody can explain it. It's kind of like when somebody explains something to you, and you think something completely different in your mind. Then when you actually see it, you're like, oh, that's way different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can't really spoil stuff. I mean, but
yeah, I guess, but I don't know.
But the cool thing on this one too is like there's also like there's 2 types. There's a like a prequel kind of thing of like Baird and Cole when they're young. And you really realize how young they look. At first, you're like, they don't look that much.
Is it like Gears of War babies, like Muppet babies? Or
No,
something?
it's not like the X.
Please,
It's not like
bonus
the
level.
X babies, like in X-Men. Whenever like Mojo turns them all into babies.
I could see like Gears of War
in
babies.
the 80s, the babies kind of was a common thing for everything.
I could see like Gears of War babies, and it's just like this infant child with like.
And the
a freaking
sad thing too is that
chainsaw on my
babies, it's like
Instagram.
in the regular X-Men. It's not like it's some spin-off. This is like regular X-Men
Is
stories.
regular X-Men, they got turned into babies for an episode?
No, for more than like not an episode, like for a comic.
Oh, for a comic.
They didn't put it in the show.
Oh, this was a show. I didn't know this was like there's an X-Men baby show. How did I not know about this?
Yeah, no, but no Gears show, and then like there's also like there's a second part of like this campaign where it plays like kind of like a side story of Gears of War 3 for like what Baird and Colt are kind of doing at this one section of the game, and that one plays more like Gears of War 3, while the other one kind of plays like that arcade style, I guess you could say, because that's kind of what it's like. And then they add some new guns. Like the cool thing is they add like a couple sniper rifles. They add one that you can shoot like 6 times, which is badass. It's 700 reloaded each time. And then they have another one that has no scope on it. and that's fucking cool too.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just like a regular rifle. There's
Yeah.
even like there's a level that's like a D-Day level where you land on the beach and you have to like run up and like storm like the fucking locust horde.
Oh,
Well, that's
really
pretty
cool.
badass.
Yeah, and you get like, especially if you have like, it almost feels like you have the M1 because you got that rifle with no like scope.
I'm gonna
And then there's a
that's
cool part
cool.
too when you get back and like you're at the top and then the locusts are coming up, so now you're like almost like the Nazis shooting at the locusts coming on the beach. So you
Yeah.
get to play both sides of that part.
That's pretty awesome.
I
I'm
think
gonna have
this-
to check out I want to say Metal
Gears
Gear
of-
Solid. Gears War 3, and then this one.
Yeah,
so-
it is badass. It's a little bit shorter than us, but I mean like that's kind of what you get for like kind of like that. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's probably about maybe a tad bit longer than the first one, but then you get all the multiplayer stuff in it too, and they kind of made the multiplayer a lot different. Like, because these are the kind of games you can kind of experiment with these ones. You know, try something. If it doesn't work, it's okay because it's not a numeral series.
Yeah, but Gears of War Judgment, that instead of like it's Gears of War 4, but it's Gears of War Judgment. But
Yeah.
this one is actually made by People Can Fly,
Uh-huh.
which it wasn't made by like Cliff Bleszinski and like all those
That's the
guys at
company.
Epic.
People can fly.
Yeah, and
Okay.
they did Bulletstorm, which is probably one of my favorite Xbox games because it's just so like it deals with like that scoring system, which I can see them implementing that into Gears of War Judgment. But Bulletstorm is a really good game.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of games. The thing is, the game moves a lot faster in this one too. Which
Yeah.
First, you kind of get that old man thing like, whoa,
Well, that's
whoa,
all, that's
why,
that's
why
an
am I
ele-
going so fast?
That's an element of Bulletstorm too, because Bulletstorm's just like whoa, just
And just like sometimes like it's just like there's countless enemies always in it because before in Gears you'd see like 5 or 6 enemies at a time mostly. That's kind of how the game ran.
Yeah.
And now it's like you just see like 40 guys run, maybe not that many, but like 25 guys running at you at a time. You're like, oh, what the fuck?
yeah.
But no, it's pretty cool, and like the controls are kind of the one thing that's like they do is like instead the other one how like you had like your 2 main guns, a pistol, and grenades.
Yeah.
Now they did kind of the Halo thing where you have one or the other gun. It doesn't really matter what the fuck you have. Either you have pistol, you have shotgun, you have machine gun, you have lancer. Doesn't matter.
That's gonna piss some people off.
Well, the only thing that kind of sucks because then you never really, like. Why would I want to carry just even though I like the pistol a lot, but why would I carry that when I could carry just bigger guns?
Nah, yeah, I get
Yeah.
you.
And the cool thing too is in this thing they have these kind of little like challenge things. You go up and you talk to like the little Gears face thing or logo, and they give you like a challenge. Like you don't have to do them, but it just kind of makes it a little bit harder. Where like either it's harder to see, you have limited ammo, you can only use this gun or something like that. And it just kind of makes it kind of fun. It changes up, and it also has that Left 4 Dead thing too, where like the shit doesn't always happen the exact same way.
Oh, okay.
that's
so
cool.
like they can like come
So like
in
if there's a
different
bunch of
areas.
like tickers coming at you one time, like and you fail, the next time it might be something different.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So I kind of that's always kind of fun.
That's not always
Yeah.
like with Left 4 Dead. Are they gonna ever come out with Left 4 Dead?
I don't know,
3?
like they,
No, they didn't.
well, I know they haven't come out with
because
it yet.
Are they gonna?
This is
though?
Valve's rule. They don't make games in 3. Because Left 4 Dead 2, Portal 2,
Half-Life.
Half-Life,
Even though Half-Life,
Half-Life 2.
they made a lot of like they technically made Half-Life like multiple ones because if you count all
Well,
the
Half-Life
like,
2 episode 1, Half-Life 2 episode 2. Where's 3?
yeah. Well, like, just think about like think of the original Half-Life. How many different like expansion packs there is for that?
Yeah,
It was like
but that's
5.
that's like the same game, but it's just
Isn't
like,
Valve coming out with their own like system now or something?
Yeah,
I heard some
Like,
Steam
is it
box.
made by that exact same Valve? I didn't know if it was. 'Cause it said Valve. I didn't know.
It's
Yeah.
called the Steam Box.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Steambox.
Or
That
just
does
like
not
or,
sound familiar to anything else out right now. Jeez.
or just like it's not like it's not gonna be called a Steam box, but it's gonna be like
Oh.
computers that are gonna be like
I was gonna say
designed.
Microsoft's
and
gonna get on
have,
their
like,
dick
a-
about that. Probably.
It's gonna have like that, like it's gonna have like a sticker on computers saying approved by Valve or something like that. This is the dedicated Steam platform or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Well, isn't it supposed to be just a straight? I think it's supposed to be a straight up like almost like a Netflix type service where you just stream shit like games.
Well, that's OnLive, but OnLive's dead. So.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know like on GameFly, it's like you can. It's kind of cool. What they do is like if you have that, not only do you get the game sent to you, you can actually you can just download like PC games that they have, and they got a bunch of cool stuff. I mean, they're a little bit
Yeah.
older, but still pretty badass though. I mean, the
GameFly is just way too expensive.
This
That's-
episode is sponsored
You
by
want me to-
GameFly.
You want me to tell
Up
you my
until Marley said so.
What?
You want me to tell you my stories of
Cut what I said
GameFly?
out.
Here, I just like okay.
I want to listen to a story. Go ahead.
This is a good story. Okay,
Yeah.
about 4 or 5 months ago, I got GameFly for free because they had like the if you start now, you get a month free. Oh, okay, cool. So by the end of the month, I was like, well, I kind of played all the games I wanted to, and sometimes it's kind of hard to get the newest games, so I stopped. And then they're like, no, we'll give it to you for half price if you want to quit right now. I'm like, oh, well, half price. I don't
It's
know
like,
if that-
please don't go.
Yeah, and
You're
it's
only
like the needy-
subscriber.
It's like the needy girlfriend.
And then so then I do another month for half price, and then I decide to, to quit or whatever. And then a month goes by, and then they say, Spence, we really miss you. You gotta come back. You gotta come back, man. I mean, like,
I'll change. I promise. Well, I'll still start going to the gym. I won't. I'll stop calling so much. I'll do whatever the fuck you want me to do. Just don't fucking leave me.
they're like $12 for the double games out at a time. I'm like, well, fuck, $12 for the double games out at a time. Well, yeah, goddamn right. Give me that. So I get that.
Just take
And then at the end of the month,
advantage
I
of
quit again. And then about 2 months rolls by, and they're like, yo, Spence,
Yo,
we'll give you your same package for $1. I was like, well, fucking A, give me that one package for $1.
after $15 tax.
Well, there was only 8 cents tax.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I got the 2 games out at a time now.
What the
for
fuck?
$1.
What's
They're just like, listen, that whore Redbox you're going to now, she has started doing that DVD, the video game thing. We've been doing that this whole time. What makes her so fucking special?
Well, because the only thing about GameFly though is it is a little like, okay, if you're paying that full price, because the problem is you can't really just if you could get the newest games that like just came out, it wouldn't be so bad. But you kind of have to get games that are like 6 months old, and by that point, some of those games you go to sort of like, well, I could just buy that for $20 or $30.
The way you say it almost sounds kind of like it's like GameFly's kind of like the pawn shop of like of like video game services. You just going like, I don't know if I want to pay $3 for Grease 2. Oh, how about like $1? Like, okay, I can go with $1. You know?
Yeah, fuck Grease 2, that's fine.
Grease 2, even though Grease is a movie.
I
We're
am
talking
Grease
about
2 is a
video
movie.
game.
They made a Grease 2 movie.
Yeah, but
doesn't
we're
mean you
talking
should
about
watch
video
it.
games. We're talking about video games.
I'm
And
saying
you're
it's
just
like
Movies
pawn
and video
shop.
games are like the same thing.
I'm
though.
talking about, I'm
yeah.
comparing like the pawn shop. Cause,
Oh, okay, okay.
To me, movies and video games go together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like peanut
Yeah.
butter and jelly?
Well, yeah. Or
That's
like
really
pizza
cliche,
and
I'm
soda.
sorry.
Pizza and soda. Pizza and milk actually works pretty good too.
Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
don't like that though. I think that tastes like amazing. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh.
Cold pizza?
Yeah, cold pizza and milk.
That
Yeah.
slurping noise helps so much.
Yeah.
After
That
hearing
sells it.
that, I'm really gonna need some milk and
It
pizza
just-
after hearing
It
that.
just sounds like Spencer's putting the Gamefly cock in his mouth.
Oh, I don't put the game, but they put the cock, or I put my cock in their mouth.
Like, I'll swallow. Don't leave me. Just don't leave me.
Anyways,
Anyway, enough about blowjobs.
enough about blowjobs. Let's talk about something American. Olympus Has
Very
Fallen.
American. Yeah, we saw that the other day.
That movie was fucking badass. That movie describes like what I like in movies. Just all around
Awkward silence
ass
in the
kicking.
room.
I'll say this about it. I wasn't really all that blown away with it. I didn't think it was that good. But I thought the action was decent. I didn't think the action was amazing enough. Because sometimes I'm like, all right, you could, as long as the movie is visually interesting and just fun enough, I can forgive everything else about it.
Yeah.
But the action was good. I didn't think it was amazing enough to actually make it stand on its own to be a really amazing movie. I just thought it was entertaining.
To me, it just was once. I can't even really think of anything wrong with it. I just thought it was fun, good story, good characters, tons of action. I mean, you could flip it like the CG, but like CG, no matter what, it looks bad. But
Well, yeah.
I didn't think the
but-
character. I like Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler did.
yeah,
a good
Gerald
job,
Butler was
but
badass. You know,
Morgan
Morgan
I'm just
Freeman
saying
looked like
this-
he was trying not to fall asleep the whole time.
They
They
really
really
Freeman
ruined
was like really old. Like they almost had to like
He's just
prop
like-
him up with a stick.
He's like,
Aaron
abort
Ack-
this mission. Abort this mission.
the whole time. They just
And they
took like
slap
3
him.
shots. They just put that on a loop. You know? And then they had Aaron Eckhart is the president, which the thing with him is just kind of like he seemed kind of like the Americans will never bow down to terrorism. All right, we're gonna shoot this guy. Wait, don't. Okay. I'll bend.
Give him the code. You don't want to die.
And then there's a part where he's like, they'll never get my code. I don't remember them interrogating him, but apparently they
got the
he just
code.
got the code from him. So they'll never get it. Like, okay, I slept. My bad. And at the end, at the very end, he gives this whole like, we're America and we're badass. Suck our dick. Credits. You know.
But no, it's just like I don't know. I like that movie. It reminded me a lot of Air Force One. That's what it really reminded me of.
Kind of did remind me.
Because
of
it
that.
reminded me like a '90s action movie.
But
well,
what,
this movie would be tremendously successful if it came out like 15 years ago.
Well, if it came out like 1995,
Yeah,
like,
it
that's
came
when it
out-
would have done like fantastic.
That's when it's just like, yeah, America, fuck yeah.
I think that the whole part of
Because
it
I guess
was the
because
part-
to me, this is like one of those like action movies, and those are like my favorite style of movies.
Yeah.
I'm down for those. I just think because like I can kind of call the beats because there's the part where like there's the room of all the familiar looking officers and one guy's like, You just stay here. It's like, okay, I gotta watch TV and hit on the fucking babysitter. It's like, all right, that guy's gonna screw him over, you know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, that guy
Well,
comes back
to me, like in almost any movie, I can call the beats. There's like now when you watch just a ton of movies, it's very, very rare that I see a movie that goes like, oh, I didn't expect that. So I just kind of accept that by now, and I just kind of go, I know it's gonna, obviously I know what's gonna happen. I didn't go in this movie going like, really?
Yeah.
Hey, North Korea was gonna invade them? Yeah. Like, wow.
Wow, that's original Olympus Has Fallen. Nice rip on Red Dawn.
Red Nav, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it reminds me kind of like if Red Dawn, but like this one happens at the White House instead. It's for the fact they win.
What if they brought in Morgan Freeman? It's like, all right, I know that you retired from your presidency, and we know you handled that whole meteor situation really well, but something else just kind of happened. Because it's like the second or third time he's been playing the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing I like about this movie too is like it's like a small thing, but you never see this in movies. You know, because mostly when like the president can't be it, then it's the vice president. But the third one's the House of Representatives, so they use that instead, which I thought that was kind of cool because I don't think I've seen that in a movie.
They killed the vice president. In this one. Yeah.
So that's the thing though. So they use like the third person up, which I think that's kind of unique because you never see that really.
I mean, I'll give
it's like it's because it's kind of like an Air Force One because like the chick Glenn Close, she becomes like the president, but she's the vice president.
Yeah. There's that whole scene too where they're like kicking the shit out of Melissa Leo.
That's funny.
Oh, she's the secretary or something?
Secretary of State or something. Yeah, just kicking the shit. I'm like, oh wow, I was not expecting this movie to go that far. I mean, the movie actually doesn't let up on the violence. And
well, that's what I like about it. The violence is good. It's action packed. To me, it's fun, and I don't know. These are the kind of movies I like.
I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad movie. It just didn't really blow me away none. And the action scenes that really stood out to me that I thought were really cool were even though. Every part of my brain, I mean, it's a movie, so I push it aside. But every part of my brain's like, that would not fucking happen. Is the part when the giant North Korean like plane comes in, just starts killing everything.
Well, yeah, there's always things like that. But
with
like,
a
to me, I
gun.
It's a movie. You kind of gotta let that part slide. I mean, it's easy to be the old man. The old man war vet that sits back and goes like, nope. And
I wasn't being that guy. I was enjoying it, but there's still that little thing in the back of my mind saying,
like, boy, America has some shitty defense.
And then like it took like what 15 minutes for the like the Marines to get there.
When do we have rockets on top of the White House?
That's not a surprise. When it's
like
if they do have rockets.
That doesn't blow me away. I'm pretty sure
the rockets on top of the White House come in at the very end of the film, and just like why did they use that to begin with and stop like this whole like attack of Korea.
The whole part with the plane going down, because what happens is there's a part where a plane comes in, flies over the city, has Gatling guns, is taking out everything, which visually it's a really cool scene. And then while that's going on, they use that as a distraction, and some people pretending to be tourists attack the front of the White House and break in. Now, that sounds like a cool... it is a cool scene, actually. It is a cool scene. And that's probably my favorite part of the movie.
But that probably, it's like realistically, that probably couldn't happen like that.
And like the military would have been there so much quicker. It was just Secret Service protecting the front of the house. It was just kind of funny. It was
police officers.
Yeah, the Secret Service and police officers. Because there's a part where like they got a fucking like a gun out of Rambo just firing in the front of the White House. And like the secret security guards are running out there. And it's just like, are you fucking lemmings? What the fuck's happened? Because they just kept on going like, woo, woo, woo. You know, so. And then like there's like... I just think that part, that was a cool scene. It's probably my favorite part of the movie. But I just think they could have just briefly summed it up like, oh, there's some kind of special, like radar jammer that went up at that exact moment.
Like
for,
an EMP or
a
something.
Little,
like, uses a lot in movies, but...
It works. You know?
It always makes sense. You can't really argue with the EMP.
It gave like a 4-minute window for them to fly in or something like that. Just something small like that. That's all he had to say. But regardless, that was a really cool scene. And Gerard Butler, he's pretty cool. Some lines he says are really cheesy, but it kind of works.
That's why it's supposed to be like an action movie, and I like when they have those lines, because for the last, like, the only problem with the last, like, 10 years of action movies is people always try to make it like, it's gotta be super serious and realistic, and that realistic thing's kind of like, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of lame, because if you want realism, you go fucking outside. If you want, you come to the movies to get kind of more like a semi-fantasy experience.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an escape.
And I get that, but it just seemed like it seemed like kind of quasi, like we want to be realistic, but at the same time, you kind of want to be a violent G.I. Joe. It felt kind of like that. It felt a little unsure of what it wanted to be.
It didn't know it was cheesy.
Is
that what you're trying to say?
I think they understood that they were. I don't think it was like once, but like then again,
there's
you don't want to be that tongue.
Well, Fast and the Furious is a film franchise that knows it's cheesy, and the audience knows it's cheesy, and it like.
But it's not tongue in cheek about it.
Yeah, but you don't want to be tongue in cheek, because tongue in cheek is sometimes kind of lame.
And I'm not saying being tongue in cheek. I'm not saying being funny about it.
Because when you're tongue in
I'm
cheek,
just-
sometimes you're kind of like, okay, now, like, once you start to really, really put, like, now you're going too far.
There's some parts where I watch the movie, I'm like, Antoine Fuqua, the guy who directed this movie, Fuqua, who also directed Training Day. He directed Training Day, right? He
did
saw
that and did Brooklyn's Finest. And what's
heard-
that one? The
Brooklyn's
King
Finest.
Arthur.
no, not Brooklyn's Finest. The one with
King Arthur.
Chow Yun Fat.
Replacement Killers.
Yeah, Replacement Killer. He did like that one.
I love
too.
Replacement Killers in Training Day. Yeah.
Whenever I see Antoine Fuqua's name at the end of the movie, it just makes me think of "fuck you," just like "fuck you."
You don't
for
like
seeing
Antoine
this
Fuqua?
No, it's just his name.
Oh.
It just makes
Fuqua!
me- It's like "fuck
Asian.
you." It's just something like that.
He's a black dude, actually, so it wouldn't make sense as Asian. Fuqua!
But yeah, I didn't really care for this movie just because like I saw some elements that like would make it good. Like if they had like 90s lines, like have like Constitution references, like just like Second Amendment, motherfucker, just something like that. But
See,
like,
I always feel like those lines go too far sometimes.
I don't know.
though.
I think that's just great. Just it would just be cheesy enough.
Like,
but,
you've just been impeached,
Yeah.
man. Or just something like that. Have like if this came out in the 90s.
in order
have, like,
to form a more perfect union, motherfucker.
or have like some like if this came out in the 90s, there would have been several kind of like as soon as like Gerard Butler, or it wouldn't have been Gerard Butler time. Who would have this been if this came out in the 90s? This would have probably been like, let's say like
Could have been
Arnold.
like,
Sylvester Stallone,
Arnold,
maybe Sylvester Stallone,
Harrison
Arnold,
Ford.
maybe
Yeah,
Harrison
Arnold.
Ford. Yeah, and they would have could have had some scene like and whenever something went good for him after he just got out of a big fight, and he'd say like one line, I get like Second Amendment, motherfucker, like you said. They have some 90s guitar riff, like right after that,
I don't know.
like The Rock or something like that.
Yeah. The first scene of the movie actually kind of pissed me off is like when like they're driving on this freeway to Camp David or whatever,
Or away
and
from
they like
Camp David.
what actually happens? They like slide on ice and like
A branch or something.
Yeah,
hit the hood of
branch
the
or
car.
a deer fell out of the sky or something.
yeah.
Deer
And
just-
Gerard Butler's character comes up to he's gonna go save the president. He saves the president, but the first lady falls and she dies.
Well, that's
And
supposed
I'm just like. And next scene, they do a jump cut, and he's like all fucking depressed because the first lady's dead. I'm just like, are you serious? You
Well,
just
this is
saved
like
the
the year-
fucking president.
Well, he got
I'm like-
fired.
Well, keep in mind that's kind of like
But it's
when it's your job, it's like those people that have that job, they don't just kind of go in there like it's a fucking job. It's like you
I
love
feel-
your job.
I
'Cause
feel
you
like
love
Aaron-
America.
I feel like Aaron Eckhарт's character just needed to talk to Bill Clinton. Just like, oh yeah, my wife's dead. I'll just have tons of sex in the Oval Office or something.
Bill's like, listen, man, I got some numbers if you want them. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. I'm like Bill Clinton. That's what you could have done. Bill Clinton could have been like the emergency room with them down there in the little, like, he could be the funny relief. Like, we're not gonna kill Bill Clinton. He's just too funny. How can I shoot this guy? I know, man. Come on.
Look, I put a hat on, good enough for you, you.
I don't know. It's
All right, the Asian chick at the computer? What's her name? I like it sweet and sour. They just kind of shrug, laugh. All right,
That's
this
Bill
guy-
Clinton.
Oh, Bill.
but
He's looking at the when they're fucking like when they have him on the computer monitor, like, watch us as we kill the vice president. They shoot like Bill Clinton's in the background. Oh damn, they must not like him. It's Bill. You just see him in the fucking background. 10 out of 10 or 4 out of 4 if that's what happened here. But then there's like
I don't know. It's just,
I don't know. To me, this is just one of those movies. Like I liked it a lot. Like I probably say it's the best movie I've seen in the year so far.
I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm just saying that like I expected a little bit. Well, I went into the film like expecting like to be like complete shit, but
Really?
like I actually walked out of it being kind of entertained. But I wanted more of like these '90s type lines and
Yeah.
just like.
if this movie
I-
came
I-
out,
It had
The-
such
the-
a
the-
stupid premise. It's just like, oh, this guy gets fired because he saves the president, but not the first lady.
he didn't
I'm
get
like-
fired.
I don't think he got fired. I think he quit at that point.
No, they
Oh.
said something like he got transferred to the Treasury. It was
Yeah.
something like that.
It sounds like some job you just want to kill yourself.
Yeah, if you're Gerard Butler and you're good at shooting
But
people,
it-
yeah,
it-
why
it
would you want to
doesn't-
work in
it
the
doesn't-
Treasury?
It doesn't make any sense, like when he's like sitting in his office and then like the planes come over like shooting like the White House and he sees it. And he's just like, oh shit!
No,
And
he's like, fuck, I've been waiting for this for like 18 fucking months. I've been counting the hours. He's just have him smiling, just wandering down this
depression just drops out of him and he just like runs and just starts shooting everyone. I'm just like, that was actually kind of badass, but it was like kind of ridiculous.
No, the action.
I don't know, because to me, it's like the thing I was kind of afraid when going into this movie is I was afraid it was going to be a little too serious, which means it wasn't going to be very much action. Because that's my problem. Is you get these
Yeah.
movies like this where they start to be like, this is super serious. This is 2000s, and it's like And then they get kind of boring. Then you're like, oh, it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like that Green Zone movie with Matt Damon. It's like
I never
too
saw
serious.
that.
I didn't see that.
I wish this movie kind of came out in
Paul
the 90s because
is that Paul Greengrass or?
It's made by the guy who did the Bourne movies.
Yeah, he does like
Born
the
in
shaky
1993.
cam or whatever.
That's
Yeah.
that's his thing. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, those movies that become too serious, like, I don't know. That's not what a movie is to me.
I kind of wish this movie came out like in the 90s just so I can see gigs. I mean, as bad as this sounds, as insulting as it sounds, I just would have been funny to see like almost kind of like the bad guys as like Asian stereotypes, like, so, Mr. President, what are we going to do to get the bomb? You know, just overtly like, you know, oh, this isn't racist, is it? Don't act like this. You know?
Well, it still kind of felt like when they were running in, it was just like, it was almost like, shoot any Asian you see! We can't take the risk at this moment.
You see like a nice looking like Asian college student just looking at his like iPhone, just gets nailed by a fucking gun.
Like an RPG.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I thought like the Asian like terrorist that they're going after that was holding the president hostage.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, am I the only one that thought this? But I thought he was like dubbed. Because like his voice,
There were moments
it made
he
it
sounded
seem
like
like
ADR.
Yeah, it made it seem like ADR and just like it wasn't his real
he
voice.
sort of seemed kind of like almost an anime villain, like, well, Mr. President. Like, they'd have the slow turnaround, like where it's like it's to his back, and he looks over his shoulder. You just see the back of his eye with an angry squint. You know what I mean?
They had a moment like that in the film where like he was making like these like communication like video messages. Back to like these people underground, which by the way, fuck those people underground that like are completely safe. But anyways,
I want to say this before I forget. You guys remember? There's because we all laughed on this part. We all laughed. There's the part within the hospital, and there's like one extra, like an old guy going, "Oh, I'm so much pain."
And Gerard Butler's like
on the phone, she has to walk away. Like,
well, I
she's,
just
like,
thought
holding
the
a
part that
needle.
was funny. This
She's
guy
holding
was like, "Oh, thank Christ, I'm gonna get some medication," and then like, "No, where you going? Don't take that phone call. Don't take it. Don't take it."
Seizure, dead.
What happened? Oh, it's just some old hobo died.
Speaking of her, she
She was kind of a bitch at first, though. You're like, why are you a bitch to Gerard Butler? What did Gerard Butler ever do?
Yeah.
He got you. He has such a good job. Like, he should be slapping you upside the head.
Yeah, but like she wasn't really doing anything in that hospital, and there's like chaos around her, and she's like.
They always kind of show most doctors like watch. Oh, check out this shit on TV.
Yeah. Well, there's someone just like bleeding like internally.
A child comes
Just,
walking
like,
out like
just,
organs hanging.
Yeah.
Help me, kid.
There's a lollipop.
CNN is on.
Have a lollipop.
Get on CNN. Maybe I'll help you.
Yeah. Speaking of like super serious movies, is that all our thoughts on this generally, or anything?
I don't know. I just liked it a lot. I was actually really impressed.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought it was all right.
I probably say that's Antoine Fuqua's best movie I've seen by far.
You think so?
Oh, definitely by far.
I really liked Replacement Killers a lot.
I like that one too, but I don't know. I just like this one a lot. To me, it's just I guess because these are those type of movies I really like, and they don't make these type of movies anymore.
I can see that, yeah.
You know, it's like
It was
What
kind of
about
like it
Expendables?
was almost kind of like
Expendables is like the closest thing because that was like the
Yeah.
first kind of comeback of like those kind of action movies.
this was kind of like
that weren't super serious.
this
Because
was
I just saw Expendables 2, and this Expendables 2 is much better.
Isn't that badass?
Yeah.
Have you seen Expendables director's cut though? The first one.
No, not.
That one kind of like
I saw it on
evens
Redbox,
it out.
so.
Yeah.
this
but-
seemed kind of like Die Hard in the White House.
Yeah, because that's
That's
what I
what
mean. It's
they're
like
sort
it's
of trying to
kind of
go
like a
for.
Die Hard.
This is the best thing we can ever say about Olympus Has Fallen. Olympus Has Fallen is much better than A Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh, it's like 1,000 times.
Yeah,
better.
yeah. I'll fully admit that. No,
Yeah.
like I said, I found it enjoyable. It just nothing really, with the exception of like 2 or 3 big scenes, nothing really jumped out at me. But I was still. It was,
I guess to me, I just
enjoyed
like
it.
the action. I like it had good comedy.
And this had
had
action.
good. Like, yeah, it had everything that was just like good. It was just like nothing really to complain about. You know.
A movie I saw, because we were talking about like movies that are trying to be super serious and all that. I actually saw. I mean, I know I'm probably coming a year late on this, but I saw Zero Dark 30 the other day.
That one came out like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I thought it came out like a year ago.
No.
No.
Zero Dark 30.
Yeah,
I
it came
guess it came out in
It came out
December.
in January.
Yeah,
out in
where the
December.
fuck have you been?
It came out in January. Never
I
mind.
wanted the
Well,
hypersleep.
it came here in January.
I guess 'cause
it came
I-
out in December, like everywhere else.
I guess that's a good point. No, I guess it only did come out a couple months ago. It just seemed like it came out longer to me. I don't know because I heard everybody talking about it. It's like felt like it was here longer. Whatever.
That's a great
Anyway.
film, isn't it?
Is it? Because I
thought
went,
it was
I went,
all right.
I went on a
just thought it was
Kathryn
all right.
Bigelow marathon. Just like I was running much for older movies, and every single movie at the very end of the movie, it's like not Point Break, Not great. I've never seen her movies. She's one of those directors like Point Break's really amazing, and everything else I've seen by her.
You didn't like The Hurt Locker?
It's okay. I never see that one actually.
Oh, you should see that one. That one's
That always just kind of looks serious and I don't know.
Let me tell you about Hurt Locker.
Well, go ahead.
It's a good movie. I
It's not
liked
amazing?
it. I don't think it was the best film that came out that year. Best everything.
Yeah, because didn't Batman come out that year?
No, Batman didn't come out that year.
no.
Inglourious
I
Bastards.
always think Batman comes out every year.
Inglourious Bastards came out that year.
No, dude, Batman didn't come out that year. That was 1932. Oh, jeez, my bad.
No, but let me say this: it was a good movie. It just wasn't. People are saying like, it's the most amazing war film ever told. It's like it was a good movie. It just wasn't amazing in my opinion. And it had some. And plus another thing. I mean, I can't really talk shit because I've never been part of the military. But people I know who've been in the military said it wasn't really that accurate. They said like the way they talk and act that was pretty accurate, and the lingo was pretty accurate. But as far as the actual
directing it.
But apparently, like, because it's about a bomb disposal unit, Hurt Locker, and they go out and there's like always just like usually just 3 or 4 guys out there, which in real life that seems kind of off. But in real life, there's like a whole squadron of people backing you up if you're out there. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what a bunch of people complained about.
So they complained about like when they actually went to go capture Osama bin Laden, which by the way.
That's not the Hurt Locker.
That's not Hurt Locker.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Zero Dark 30.
Then I was going to move into Zero Dark 30.
Okay.
And then,
before we even move into that, though, I want to explain once you're done with that, like some of her early movies.
Okay.
You'll get a kick out of this, but you explain your thing. You're not done yet.
Let's go chronologically. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I watched your very first movie, and it was William Dafoe's first movie too, or Willem Dafoe, and it was about motorcycles. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was supposed to be like one of those ones like. Kind of like a Marlon Brando one, like, those like old-fashioned, like, we're motorcycle riders, we're cool, we're young, we don't have jobs.
Guitar
cool.
riff, boom!
No, this before guitar riff. It'd be more like a little like surf rock riff, like driving down the road, like like a little rockabilly.
I imagine him just humming like the Harley Davidson guys in
His
the South Park
slightly
episode.
bobbing.
The South Park guys.
It's like he's got like a leather jacket on, he's got sunglasses. Willem Dafoe, he's cool.
Cigarette.
Yeah, cigarette, And really all it is like, it's a movie just like, about fucking nothing. Like, they're in a fucking diner for half the movie, then they're in like a garage for half the movie, and just like, literally nothing is going, it's just boring as fuck. Like, I don't know, like, I expect there's gonna be motorcycle rides, like, come on, at least have it like, be like, okay, they're gonna get into this gang fight at some point, or you know what, or Billy's, he's killed somebody he shouldn't now, we gotta run from the law.
A meth deal goes bad, or something like that.
Well, meth would be even like, this way back. This is back in the day.
This is like back in the 40s?
Well, it was about 40s, but it's supposed to be, I think...
Coke.
Yeah, it's supposed to be kind of older. This movie's from the 80s. It might be about in the 80s.
80s.
These
Right,
guys always
Coke
dress
then.
like they're in the 50s.
80s,
so
Coke.
Coke.
But I don't even think it's an 80s. It's not like an 80s movie, though, so it might be taking place like in the 60s or something. But still, it's just one of those ones like, it was just kind of boring. Nothing happened. You guys see Willem Dafoe naked. That's not the first.
Well, in this case, it would be.
Yeah, that's true. His first movie. But yeah, and then I went to saw this other one called, it's called like After Dark or After Dusk.
I heard the name of that.
Something like that. It was a vampire kind of movie thing from like 1989, and it had what's the actor that plays Kyle from Terminator?
I know who you're talking about. I'm drawing a blank on his name too.
Yeah.
Is it a Steven something?
I always get confused with the guy
Jeff
from Independence
something?
Day.
Not Bill Pullman.
Yeah, Bill
Paxton.
Yeah, Bill Paxton.
All right.
Yeah, he's in it and whatever. And this was one that's more like here. I'll say this. It's got something different because it's more about like a hillbilly like vampire like family that like lives in like a motorhome or whatever. Like, this is the hillbilly vampire family. And this one dude, and this one like
Sounds like a web series.
like 18-year-old cowboy guy gets changed into
It's like
like
a Tromaville series.
well, no, not necessarily like that. It doesn't really come across like that. It's just like this 18-year-old cowboy guy gets bit by this girl, and he's like, oh, fuck, now I gotta live with this. And then, like, his dad's out searching for him and whatnot, and his dad finds a way to fucking cure it, like, I'll save my son! Fuck these vampires! But,
He forms a relationship with the girl, I'm guessing.
yeah, and then he saves the girl, because his dad's a smart, and smart. But other than that, though, it was just like, it was definitely better than that Willem Dafoe one. But, still, when I was done with the movie, it was okay. No Point Break, though. And then I watched this other one. It came out in 1995. I cannot really remember any of the names of these movies. That kind of like goes to show. And it was kind of supposed to be like one of those ones like Virtual Reality 95. Where these people would make these virtual reality movies that like you would like sit down and like, it's like you'd make a movie of like shit you did. Like if either like, you robbed a bank or like you were fucking like a hooker, or you were doing something like that.
I'm in a bank and fucking a hooker.
You'd be a fucking big fat black guy too. I don't know. Whatever you want, and then you'd sell these off on like these little like mini like discs, and you put it on your head and be like, oh, I'm fucking virtual.
Virtual Boy. Is that
And it had
what you're
Juliette
trying to-
Lewis in it and stuff, and some other stuff, and
Every movie like this always had Juliette Lewis in the 90s.
yeah, in the '90s it did. If it was like, yeah, and once again, it was like, it's okay. It had some kind
Not
of cool
Point Break.
ideas, but once again, no Point Break. So this is how we end up at Zero Dark 30.
All right, so Zero
Is
Dark
it Zero Dark?
I'll say
Does
it's
it live up to the Point Break?
No.
No.
I don't think she was trying
I
to,
think
like-
because you can't outbeat the Sways. I think that's the main
It's hard
thing.
to top
Yeah.
the Sways.
The Sways is in there, and he's like, that's how you get a good
And Anthony
movie.
Kiedis
like-
shoot himself in the foot.
He's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and Anthony Kiedis.
He's like, don't live up to the sways.
I don't know. Whenever Anthony Kiedis is in a movie, it makes my day more.
he was in like a Charlie Sheen movie, like The Chase.
Yeah, he's in The Chase.
I've only seen the very end of The Chase.
And also, Henry Rollins is in that movie too.
yeah,
He
I
plays
love
a
Henry
cop.
Rollins. I love Henry Rollins.
And Flea's in it.
And then no shocker there.
Yeah.
If Anthony Kiedis in it, usually Flea's in it too.
Somewhere. He's in
Because
more
Flea's
movies than-
usually in more movies than Anthony Kiedis. But no, anyway.
Flea was in Back to the Future.
He was. He played Needles.
But Anthony Kiedis wasn't
No.
No.
in Back to the Future.
Flea's also in Son-in-Law, and he's also
Big
in
Lebowski.
Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's one of the nihilists.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff. He's a fucking Flea.
I love Flea. No. Hey, I just want to say this real quick about Flea. Whenever you read, like, you think he'd be like the crazy one who's done all these drugs and just, like, fucked a hooker while stabbing a baby or something like that.
Well, Anthony Kiedis was like scratching his balls.
Yeah, you'd think it would be that way, but it's more the other way around. Even though Flea's the one doing all the crazy, weird shit on stage, and he's missing like his front 18 teeth. He's actually a very calm, normal guy, according to Anthony Kiedis' biography.
Yeah. He's the calm guy. He's the family man. He's like everything.
The second he gets on stage, throw me a sock. That's all I need. No, but anyway.
I like to be comfortable.
Anyways, Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30. Oh, fuck. Flea should have been in this movie. Anyway. So,
He should have been Bin Laden.
he should have been Laden. It's like, don't shoot me! Like, then like Bill Clinton's back there. Oh no! He's like,
no!
You see how Bill Clinton, so it can't be that bad.
Bust in on
I'm in
Bill-
everywhere.
He's just bust in on Bill Clinton and Bin Laden playing Russian roulette with a bunch of hookers around him.
You caught me!
And Bill Clinton's just sitting there in his underwear like, well, I thought we were playing strip poker. He's winning.
I like to get comfortable. They're like, Osama's like,
They're like playing Go instead of like
Os-
poker.
Osama turns.
No, just Go. The Chinese game Go.
Fish. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Osama just turns to like Bill. He's like, oh, Mr. Clinton, you're so funny. They just shoot Bin Laden right there. That's how we got him, actually. No, anyway, so this
Bill
movie,
likes to be undercover, though he doesn't know he's undercover.
yeah. Please give him a joint, tell him to inhale and knock himself out. Just go with it. No, so,
Ship them overnight.
that poor fucker. He's still probably trying to escape that I did not inhale shit this whole time. How many years later he still can't escape that? Anyway, the movie Zero Dark 30. I'll say this: opening first hour or so, because generally the movie it's very a mission based movie and very much focusing on just kind of like we got to find this guy, to find this guy, to find this guy, to find this guy, to find Bin Laden. And the first hour of the movie, I was pretty entertained, and it was very much what I thought it would be. People talking.
Serious,
Well, no-
talking heads.
Well,
not a
I
lot of
enjoyed it.
action.
Well, no, the thing is, because I mean, I'm not somebody who enjoys like torture porn or anything, but the back and forth between like I don't know the actor's name, but he's kind of the guy leading the mission at first. This guy working for CIA, he's torturing a Al Qaeda member for information, and the back and forth between them is pretty good. I thought the writing was pretty good, but then once this guy leaves for a while, he's like, "Look, I'm just done with this. I got to go off."
I got this other movie to do.
Yeah, and then he leaves, and it stays on the girl. I'm forgetting to bring her.
Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain.
Is she like a news reporter?
She's not a news reporter. No, she's
Trailers seem to.
she looks like a news reporter, but she's not. She's
from Sacramento too.
she's from Sacramento.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
All these local
talent.
people are getting bigger.
Similar, yeah.
Jeremy Renner from Modesto. This chick from Sacramento.
Larissa Olmec or whatever.
The guy
Well, she
Olmec.
comes up overnight or whatever. She comes up here for vacation, I believe. I don't know if she's
Yeah.
from here. Maybe she is. But anyway,
I don't know.
moving
Wait,
back.
Is that make sure I got that right.
The drummer from
Oh,
Atreyu.
Overnick. Yeah, drummer from Atreyu. Overnick or Overnick.
Overnick? Okay.
Something like that.
As long as I didn't say Olmec in there, so.
So,
More Ovaltine, please.
our other sponsor. No. But so And then, so it's just the back and forth between her and the CIA guy, which she's CIA too. That's all pretty good. And then it reaches this point where he leaves, and it's just her trying to find, like, Osama's carrier. And for a while, they find his main carrier. They think, oh, this guy we've been looking for the last 4 years is actually dead. And they come back going, oh, he's not dead. He has, like, 8 other like brothers look just like him, and one of
cloned himself.
Yeah, and so then from there on in, it just that right there, it's literally guys in offices saying, "We believe Bin Laden is here," and they give the reasons, and it's interesting. But he's just like, "We don't know. We don't know if we want to do that." And then it's just a lot of that for about a good 45 minutes, almost kind of like Lumbergh, just kind of came in. I don't know if I can let you go in on this mission. Yeah. By the way, did that whole like protest in Israel, that's becoming kind of bad right now, so you might want to come in on Sunday too, kind of imagining almost that. So but it was almost kind of like that. It was just a lot of back and forth of like the reasons why we didn't go over there. And I mean, you're seeing this movie primarily for facts. And then
because we go to the movie to get the facts.
Well, I'm saying that's what the movie is. It's primarily, it's almost kind of, even though it's a dramatization, they're treating it kind of like a documentary in a sense. I mean, they don't have like POVs or just them just talking. Yeah.
Going back to like the documentary, they're treating it like a documentary. And going back to Olympus Has Fallen, did you find that weird at all when they would like introduce characters in Olympus Has Fallen and treated it like a documentary?
I didn't think
it was kind of like,
to me, it reminded me of
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
oh,
I did not think of it like a documentary. I just thought that was kind of like, it gets their name. Sometimes like when you say their name like that, then you sometimes remember it. Not like I remember any of their names, but
oh, that's the Secretary of State, whatever.
Yeah, but I kind of like, I don't know, I like that. It reminded me of Metal Gear Solid, and I thought that was cool.
Then you you also have that like in Snatch, like an Any Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah.
They'd have that like their like low level like bookie or whatever their name. No, but anyway, so this movie has.
But that was like it boosted the story. It was part of the story.
But it's also one of those things we don't got to stop and explain. We don't have to like crowbar this dialogue. So how'd that stock exchange go or something like that?
Yeah, you know that's I mean that would be like kind of like sounds like in some of the comic books. It's like they have to always say their names at some point. So it's like, good job there, Robin.
I haven't seen you since you were like, or if Nightwing comes in, I haven't seen you since you were Robin, the Boy Wonder.
Nightwing. It's like Nightwing. Once we used to be Boy Robin, but now he has Nightwing fighting on his own now.
In Boulderville. Not Boulderville, but what's it? Not Boulderville, like Bolt Heaven or whatever. Anyway,
yeah.
So, one Batman reference. I'm surprised it took us that long. Anyway, so moving on to this movie. So then. And like Jessica Chastain, all the actors do pretty good. There's like James Gandolfini's in it. There's a lot of it's kind of a lot of cameos of just actors playing like talking heads and political figures. And then you get to this point at the end of the movie, which is the big part everyone's waiting for, which is for Osama bin Laden to die. Mm-hmm. And that part was interesting. That part was fun to watch.
Was it good? Like
when he actually dies, that scene, it's fun, it's cool. But when he actually, let me actually go backtrack for a second. There are other scenes where they'll show like attacks, and there'll be scenes where like
little bits of action,
assassination attempts here and there.
That's cool.
But very bit scenes, you know what I mean? And it's not a bad movie. It's just like
No Point Break.
It's No Point Break. No.
Well, sometimes
the title of this podcast should be No Point Break. Olympus Has Fallen is No Point Break.
And then heading into
Point Break is pretty good. I just did like Olympus Has Fallen though.
So the part when it happens is when Bin Laden dies, it's kind of like, oh shit, that was it? Because I mean, it plays it off very realistically. I guess how it would happen.
They just go, Bin Laden gets shot, like credits.
I was kind of hoping. No, I was kind of hoping.
Did they not show him die though? Like
you see someone like it's because what happens is the room's black. The room's black, and they play it kind of like they're trying to build up suspense. And you kind of see like silhouettes, not so much silhouettes. It's dark, but you can still see enough. Kind of, you can kind of see like the night vision goggles of the SEALs.
It's like you're peeping Tom,
and they're like
peeping in on the execution.
You see her like, and they see kind of like movement going by a little bit, like Osama, like that, whispering Osama. Then all of a sudden there's like a gunfire, and then like a lady, then like just a couple of gunshots, bam, 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 bam. Someone falls over, and they go over and they like shine a light down, and Bin Laden's dead.
Oh, that's still gonna happen. I mean, like that might be more realistic, but for a movie, it should be a little bit better than that.
This goes back to like, what if this movie came out in the '90s? It would have been something kind of like if Michael Bay made this movie or something like that.
And Bill Paxton.
Yeah, they come in. You're like Bin Laden's like, I will kill all the Americans as I did that one day. Like, is this speaking as if it came in the 90s, if 9/11 happened in the 90s, but, but, you know, she's like, not on my watch, motherfucker, like, pulls out, like, a gun. She's like, you know, like, he put in some backstory, like, his wife was on the plane that day or something like that.
Yeah.
They shoot him, all of a sudden, like, you know, like, fucking Aerosmith starts to play. They bag the body.
Not only that, Aerosmith's in the movie.
Actually, no, first I want to come back to it. They fucking come back.
Steven Tyler is just shooting like Osama bin Laden.
It's like, yeah! You know? Yeah! They're like, we did it, America! They bag bin Laden's body on the helicopter to the fly, like, suck our dick! Suck our dick! The credits. If this movie came out, or they go.
See, to me, like, I'd rather have
Antoine
that movie
Fuqua
than,
made
like, the
this
super
movie.
serious one. I know, there's definitely not the super serious one, because, I mean, there's got to be seriousness to it, but I like a little bit of fun thrown into my movies, you know?
And then they end up, maybe then they end up getting to like the fucking military base, and like Bill Clinton's there. Hey guys, I've been waiting. I'm ready to party. Yeah, high five. The Aerosmith song starts to play.
He has like a beer holding in one hand and like he just did a lot of coke.
He's like scratching his nose. Like, I was just eating donuts, if you know what I mean. Wink.
Powdered donuts.
My favorite.
My favorite.
I wasn't talking about that. Like makes his like his hands the shape of pussy. He says that.
Oh.
So,
Oh man. Oh man.
so anyway, then where the fuck was I? So really, in the real movie, then in the real movie, what ends up happening is he like they get there, and the whole time Jessica Chastain, everyone's kind of saying, look, just stop, you're trying way too hard, what's the point, it's useless, live a little bit. They've got a point that
Live a little.
all her life, not all her life, but her life for the last, ever since 9/11, has just been trying to track down bin Laden. And it has this real kind of like artsy kind of.
I have nowhere left to go.
Kind of like
She pulls a gun out, puts it in her mouth. And
No,
just
doesn't do that. But no, she kind of goes up because they all get back.
Aerosmith song.
They get back to the base, and they show bin Laden. She walks up to it, no music. She like slowly unzips bin Laden and looks at him, and then like cuts the next day. There's like a military.
Bin Laden's on her fucking like wall.
His head's mounted on her wall with like fucking antlers.
coming out of his turban thing.
The Osama Lope.
Sorry.
Oh man.
She reaches into a drawer and pulls out like a fucking vibrator, just turns it on. Credits.
And puts it in Osama's mouth.
So Zero Dark 30.
So no, the movie of Old Man Orange made Zero Dark 30. No, so then she ends up, she gets on this plane. It's a big giant military plane. Some guy's like, "Oh, you're the only one on the itinerary or whatever. You must be someone really important." She's like, "Yeah, sure." And she just sits in there. She sits in the plane. As soon as she's by herself and the thing starts to close, you see she starts to like just break down and like quietly cry, and then it just cuts to credits. And I think it's one of those things like
That sounds stupid as fuck. Those like those kind of endings when I see those, I'm like, that gay. And then she's like, oh,
because she doesn't know what she's gonna do now. Or so. No, the thing with the whole time in the movie, they don't get across like, oh no, it's so hard for her. She's actually a hard ass throughout the whole movie. It's just the very end of the movie this happens, because the whole movie she's like very kind of like determined. She wants to find Bin Laden more than anybody else in the movie. It's just at this very last minute, I think it's like, what am I gonna do now? It's one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
So yeah,
Well,
where are we at?
where we?
what about that Will Smith trailer?
Oh,
yeah.
After Earth.
Yeah.
Will Smith and Little Will Smith.
Yeah.
I'll say this about that. It's one of those things.
I want to correct myself because on my podcast I said that Gary Whitta wrote that. He wrote the first draft, and M. Night Shyamalan wrote the second draft.
Oh fuck.
So it's just like 50-50. This movie could be complete shit, or it could be all right.
It looks like
'Cause
it looks
Book
like
of
it's
Eli
one of
was
those movies,
all right too.
It's gonna be like one of those movies. Like, it's not gonna be really amazing, but it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It has some kind of interesting looking things. Evolved creatures chasing Will Smith's son. If they finally caught him, that'd be really cool. But
But how about the internship trailer?
Oh,
Fuck
let's
that.
talk about.
We talked about
we
that
kicked
before.
that movie in the dick for a while.
Yeah.
Let's jump back on this for a second. I want to say something
I'll
about
kick it in
this.
the dick a couple more times, just because that.
We got room for it. I just want to speak
Well,
this
yeah,
out real
let's-
quick.
okay.
Here's the thing about that movie. I might check it out. We'll see what happens. I think it's really smart they did not advertise M. Night Shyamalan's name on it, because for a while, for about a good 4 or 5 years, whenever they advertise his name on a movie, you're in a movie theater, you would hear someone say, "Fuck!" somewhere in the audience. Or they laugh or whatever.
It's funny because guys like once like he did like The Sixth Sense. People seem to like that, and everybody seem to hate him after that. And
because every movie that he's done is complete shit. I will say I do like M. Night Shyamalan. I think he's.
Doesn't that cancel out that statement? Please,
because every movie he did is complete shit, but I do like it anyway.
Well,
I'm a big fan of shit.
Didn't you like? I
like when shit's served on a plate.
Chick in the water or whatever. Chick in the
Lady
water. Lady in the water. Yeah.
But ever since Last Airbender, I think people have just been kind of like. Yeah, this guy just
it's been way before Glass Airbender.
I think he's one of those people. He had his fan basis. He had his fan basis, and people were always kind of like, the fucks. People I've talked to, they would either like love his movies or they would hate him. But the people that would love him, there's always one Shyamalan that everyone would hate. I noticed. Yeah. Like even fans.
Well, personally, me, because I'm like, what's supposed to think. The one movie that I haven't seen that many of his movies, but the one I really didn't like very much was Sixth Sense. That's the one I thought was kind of boring. I mean, not even Bruce Willis could save it. Mm-hmm. I didn't like that one very much. But the one I thought that was actually kind of cool that some people don't like was Signs. I thought that was the better one.
You see how Signs is actually really good. People actually hate Signs?
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of people talk crap on that movie. And I thought that was actually one of his cooler ones, though I've never seen that many of them.
The whole religious thing at the end, I think, got a lot of people.
Yeah.
You drop religion and
people don't like aliens for some reason. A lot of times learn. I don't know why. You think they do, but they don't.
People didn't like the alien scene in Signs where you actually see him.
I thought that was so cool.
It just looked like when he walked Michael Jackson in a leotard or something like that. Even though you see that every single day, but it's just like...
When was the last time you saw Michael Jackson walk past your door in a leotard?
Yeah, dude.
I meant like on
when did you get the key to Neverland Ranch?
Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't know, it just looked kind of fake.
Okay, I see. Well, did the aliens? Because I saw the movie once a long time ago. I barely remember. I remember the part at the end when it's in the living room and it's all like doing the whole like see-through kind of thing. He's holding the kid, and the kid has like asthma, so he doesn't breathe in anyway, so the poison doesn't kill the kid. Mm-hmm. And then he has a flashback to his wife. I remember all that stuff, but the rest.
I've only seen the movie like once, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it
so I couldn't really tell you the story at all, but
yeah.
I just remember it being kind of cool and had neat scenes in it and stuff.
It's kind of.
Not say it was the most amazing movie, but
yeah,
that is kind of creepy. But at the same time, it's one of those things like. Those aliens seem kind of like, I mean, for being causing so much trouble, they seem like kind of a bunch of pussies. Of all things, water. Are you fucking related to Margaret Hamilton? What the fuck happened there?
Maybe their planet just doesn't have water.
Maybe. It just seemed like water. No, water, no!
Everyone seems to hate Lady in the Water, too.
Speaking of water.
Just because, like, I didn't hate it all that much, but it's when M. Night Shyamalan, like, he always has a cameo in all of his films. But in this film, he is the savior for this one woman that's like trapped in this horrible dimension. Just like
he was all like, one day you're gonna write a book and it's gonna change the world. This character stars.
Yeah.
This character starred by the writer and director of the movie.
Yeah. So everyone was just like, "Fuck that!" But I thought it was actually kind of cool.
I thought that movie was okay. I guess I'm just in an okay mood today. I don't know because.
What about the Will Smith movie though?
Will Smith movie. All right, that one. Yeah.
I still think it'd be kind of an interesting one.
You mean the Jackie Robinson one? Oh wait, never mind. Not all black people look alike, Marley.
The Jackie Robinson movie actually looks good. I just think the trailer, it's just like
it's
that song. It's got like that, like that
Jay-Z song.
I'm playing baseball now.
Yeah, it's like I'm Jackie Robinson. I played the baseball. It's just like, it seems like it's like really horribly. It's like written by like a 5-year-old black kid who just learned how to rhyme.
I think it's Jay-Z.
Oh,
I think that was Jay-Z. I'm not trying to be funny. I think.
And Harrison Ford has crazy eyebrows.
No, Harrison Ford looks badass. He's just like, I'm Harrison Ford.
He looks like
Harrison Ford, and black people never played baseball before. I don't know.
The thing with I want to say this.
I think he was drunk in that. Doing that.
I'll jump back on 42 in a second. I just want to spit out my last bits on After Earth. I'm kind of interested in seeing it, even though I don't like Jaden Smith that much. He looks like he's playing something different. It looks like he's not playing the same old thing. Will Smith also seems like he's not playing like the damn what? He's not doing that shit. So he looks like he's playing a very militaristic character, and that's kind of interesting. So I might check this movie out. I bet at some point though. There's going to be, because there's a part where you saw like explosions going by and you saw multiple people running by. I bet they found like a little like society of people somewhere like underground or something like that help them out. That's going to happen at some point, I'm guessing, which it would be cool if it's just father and son type of story, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I hope it's just the two of them. Well, obviously it's not.
The two of us. Just
a remix of that song. You and I. They just like break out in song like, all right, there's no twist. but it's still gonna piss people off. It's my signature. I gotta do this. And Will Smith's like, listen, M. Night, I really don't want to do it. Sing! You know? So like
It's in the script.
Well, I
It was
think
in the original draft too.
I think it was on the last podcast you were saying like good thing that this film didn't come out in the 90s because it would probably come out with like a Will Smith.
If Matrix
After Earth.
didn't come out, then Matrix. Yeah, on your podcast, said what a good thing Matrix didn't come out in the 90s.
Yeah, because it would
Matrix
probably
did
come
come
out
out in the 90s.
If Will Smith then it wasn't in Matrix, I should say.
because it would come out with like a Will Smith song.
That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah,
Will Smith sings with Rage Against the Machine.
yeah.
That does not mish well.
No, I don't.
You would have you realize there'd be like a music video to that with like a bunch of Agent Smiths breakdancing behind him or some shit. He's all like, like flipping up the collar to his like trench coat, you know. It's like,
I kinda wanna see that
you know,
spin-off.
just I make this video now. Make this video like call him, Will, what are you doing? Because we all know he's got Will's
actually, he's
number.
doing a lot.
Yeah,
Well,
He's
here's
doing I Am Legend 2, Independence Day 3.
he dies. at the
There's
end
no
of Iron
Independence
Legend.
Day 2.
Well, yeah, Independence Day 2 also. And,
Oh, I think so.
and 3.
Oh, it's like he's doing Independence Day 3. There's no. Okay, got you there.
I Robot 2, I Robot 3.
Are you serious? He's
if
doing
you
all
look
this
at his IMDb page, it's like 3 pages long
Sequels?
for upcoming stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here's the most important trailer though. Was the Fast 6 trailer?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah,
Han's still alive.
I'm
Yeah.
what?
Han's still alive.
Yeah,
He died in the third one.
Yeah, I know.
He died.
but-
Well, it's funny because like
So this
But
is
no
a
one
period piece if you think about it.
they're always period pieces.
Yeah.
They've been a period piece ever since the third one.
Or the
Yeah.
third one just takes place in the future. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
it.
This film just looks badass.
No, it looks awesome. This
Yeah.
the one thing I really just hope this movie has. Like the last movie was really good, but the biggest complaint to me about the last movie, and I've heard this from a lot of people, is where the fuck is all the car racing?
Because there's a
But
car scene.
that's what I loved about it, just because it's like all these random cars, just like the first scene of Fast 5 is like they're trying to rob this train.
Well,
I'm
that
like,
part's
that's,
really badass.
That's so cool. That's so.
Well, the
cool.
thing is,
Just
like throughout the movie, there's even that part in the movie too, where they're like, "Okay, we got to go get cars," and it's like you literally think that they show up and it's like, "Oh, it's regular Fast and Furious now." You know, there's like some kind of like new modern music playing.
Yeah.
And they pull up, and then it just does a cutaway, like, "Good thing we got these cars.
that kind of pissed me off.
Let's learn how to drive them now."
Yeah.
My thing is, what I
Because
like
everybody's
about
not nearly as good as Vin Diesel and Paul Walker.
Yeah.
here's what I think about those movies. I liked Fast 5, and I thought that I'm kind of with you. I wish they just all they needed was like one little car scene in the middle because the movie it's a car movie, but more than anything, it's a heist film. And
Yeah.
I really like heist movies. And I thought that the last scene, like the beginning scene, the last scene, kind of make up for whatever lack of cars there are. But still, there would have been
Well,
a
it's just
nice.
ones
there
like
would've been
Taking
nice to
down
have-
a fucking airplane.
I'm talking about number
It's like-
5. We'll come back to
okay.
6.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But but this one, I mean, number 5, I thought it was. I just love that last car chase scene, the whole thing at the beginning. As long as there's car action, I just think in the middle, like that part you're talking about, the part they're talking about, you could have probably had like a quick chase scene in there, which would have been fun. But it just kind of threw off.
Well,
the
really,
pace a
I
little.
just think that one part where they said, "Let's get cars," that should have just been a car scene.
Yeah.
And the whole point's like, it's an extremely good movie, Fast and Furious 5. But the main thing that makes this movie like what it is the cars, and like just the semi lack of cars is like the only down kind of fall. So I just hope this one actually like they fill in a little bit more cars.
This one looks like, and I don't know, there's probably gonna be like one car race, but everything else looks like it's probably gonna
Be like action cars.
There's a
Which-
fucking tank on a freeway.
Who doesn't want
And
to see
then,
that?
who doesn't want to see that?
no, I'm
And
totally
freaking Vin Diesel takes down a fucking plane
All I can
with a
s-
fucking car.
All I can say is they've come a long way. They've come a long way from stealing DVD players. That's all I gotta say.
Well, the original Fast and Furious is literally the exact same story as Point Break. This time we get this like wraparound of Kathryn Bigelow. Like it's literally
It's no Point Break.
It's literally the same exact story. Paul Walker's Keanu Reeves, Vin Diesel is Patrick Swayze. The sister, I don't remember her name, that's Lori Petty. pretty
Joanna
much.
something.
Yeah. And it's the exact same story.
I just want Fast 7 or Fast and Furious 7, or whatever the fuck they're gonna call it. I just want it to be like a Pixar type film where the cars start talking and Vin Diesel is like a car.
Vin
He's just
Diesel's
like-
a car.
This just sounds like the most insulting movie I can think of because
I don't know.
The one thing that, like,
He would be a
awesome.
black Charger.
It's kind of funny because like the one thing that like in Fast and Furious 2, though that's probably the worst one. The one thing that sold people so much was like and it's literally only a couple scenes, but when they use the CG for a split second, like in some of those ones where it showed the cars turn, and it's only in the beginning and it's only for a couple scenes, but that pissed people off so much that third one had to be like.
That's in Tokyo Drift.
No, the second one, Too Fast, Too Furious.
That's
Oh,
where you're
yeah.
gonna drop that
And
shit at the end.
that's the only one. Like that one's kind of like the only like okay one. In a sense, the second and third, like really the first one and the fourth one's kind of like the fourth one's really the sequel to the first one when it really gets down to
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The other ones are they're like side missions or
Yeah.
There's a rumor
Side
saying
stories.
that like the Rock's character might get his own spin-off movie.
He hits the Rock. He can
Well,
carry.
yeah.
It's strange enough. It's like,
He can carry his own
I really
movie.
think that Fast and Furious really is Vin Diesel. The third one's really awesome, and I think that's a good like kind of spin-off in a sense. But it's Vin Diesel's movie. But the Rock is such a powerful character that he almost can.
How much do you think Under Armour's paying The Rock to
wear
wear?
that.
He never takes it off. Even in like the fifth one, he's walking around like the whole team.
He has no pants on, but he's got the Under Armour shirt still.
That whole
dick
team,
hanging out.
that whole team was all just wearing Under Armour, and like I can like, even though I like that movie, that part's just so cheesy.
Like
when
a
they
lot
all,
of, like-
well, no, they's like, here's my team. All these guys in Under Armour shirts walk out, and it's just like they're all carrying like machine guns and grenade launchers. Like, you guys realize this is a crime scene, right? We're just investigating, you know? He's like, you never know.
See, how do you expect me to get all these sweet badass guns? Under Armour sponsors us. Well, we'd be coming in here with our dicks in our hands if we didn't have Under Armour.
Under Armour money, we could just buy. These aren't even like by the fucking government. We bought these ourselves.
The government says if you can afford it, you can have it.
This plane, Under Armour. That building over there, guess what? Under Armour. I'm about to fucking buy it. I have the moning for it. Why are you hunting down the Rock? It's a good hobby, you know.
Under Armour says we need something that makes the kids want to buy Under Armour.
Why are you hunting down Vin Diesel? You know, fucking just.
The Rock is gonna
Gets
have a
bored.
big summer. Like,
He really is because G.I. Joe comes out next week.
G.I. Joe comes out next week.
I know, doesn't that blow your mind?
Yeah, it does. What are you doing, Ryan?
I'm playing with the Sonic the Hedgehog coaster.
Okay.
Almost, yeah.
No, The Rock has a lot. Well, then even though it's like that movie that came out like 2 weeks ago about him like getting his son out of jail or whatever, that he had that.
Yeah.
Then
But
there's also
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
I keep
also-
going back to G.I. Joe because that movie's gonna be fucking amazing.
done by the same guy who did Fast 6, right?
G.I. Joe?
Fast and the Furious
No.
6 or whatever. The guy's doing G.I. Joe. Same guy who did Fast and Furious 6, isn't it?
He is?
I thought he is. Maybe
That's the
not.
same guy. He
Justin
did,
Lin?
yeah, because he
think it
did
is.
number 3, he did number 4, and he did number 5.
I think it is. I might be wrong.
I don't know. We could
Well,
fact check, but we don't have internet. So.
Yeah, we'll do that some other time.
And then there you got, you got the Ryan Gosling movie, the
Oh,
Beyond the
I
Cedar
forgot
Pines
that
or
one.
whatever.
Oh,
That
yeah.
one
Well,
looked
the one is
really
okay. Ryan Gosling's a
cheesy.
really good actor, but I'm sorry, like it's really hard to take that face as like a badass.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry though, that was the only thing I was watching. Movie. It's just
He's
like
way too pretty.
yeah, he's way too pretty. He's kind of and he's a little. Even though he's a really good looking guy, he's kind of got like a slightly dopey look to him. So it's just like him
know what
trying to
you
be a
mean.
badass is like no.
No.
I mean, he can be a badass like firing a gun like in Gangster Squad, but like being all tattooed up and bleached
think
blonde
He
hair.
looks more like, to me, he didn't look like so much of a badass. More than anything, he looked to me kind of like
Well, I guess I'm
a
saying like a
tweaker,
rebel.
a tweaker trying to get his shit together. That's kind of what he more
I guess he didn't really look like a
I
tweaker.
think
he
he's
just
trying
more
to
just
go
looked
with, like, the
some like
whole-
I'm the rep. He looked like Willem Dafoe in that motorcycle movie, but like in the future.
Because this movie, yeah, it's about like a guy who's a good bike rider. He starts robbing banks to get money for his kid. And it
I mean,
looks
that
kinda-
movie, it's probably kind of emotional, but I bet you the action will be cool because motorcycle action is always cool in movies. We don't
One
get
thing
enough
I
of
don't
that.
want in my movies is emotion.
Unless it's all about Batman and
I
his
think-
feelings that never get shown.
They just stay in his diary.
I
He
think
keeps them beneath his
Ryan
That
pillow.
Alfred writes because Batman doesn't have good handwriting.
Have you read Year One?
Have you ever tried to write with a fucking glove on?
I could take it off, but fuck it. My hand gets so sweaty. Might as well just stay in this glove. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, Marley, go
I don't
ahead.
like to pay the bills for the heating.
I think Ryan Gosling in this movie is trying to show that he's a method actor and trying to say that he's better than Christian Bale. Just
He is
by
better than
saying,
Christian Bale.
Just by Machinist.
I've never seen The Machinist. Is that Ryan Gosling or Christian Bale?
That's Christian
Bale.
Bale.
Oh.
That's a definition of Christian Bale as a method actor. And also like those YouTube videos.
You know what's actually a good movie of like Christian Bale, like as a method actor, is
Are I wanted to see Fighter. I didn't see it.
No, no.
Fighter's good.
No, it's an older movie. It's I'm trying to blank on it.
Not Shaft.
Yeah, Shaft.
Shaft?
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, because like he plays something
Method
like.
actor, so he was really going out and like punching black people. What?
Well, no, that's what I mean. Because like you just see him completely different in that movie than like you're like, oh, he's not like the good guy or something like that.
Yeah.
He was just kind of the dick in that.
Yeah,
movie.
he just played a good like dick douche like racist.
Yeah.
What was that Ryan Gosling movie called?
I don't know.
It's just
The Faster or Fast? Not Fast. Drive.
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 No,
No,
not
you
Drive.
think Drive's that other movie.
Drive is that other movie made by what's his
Driver.
name?
I don't know. That's that one's like kind of feels like an '80s movie.
Yeah,
That one's kind of cool.
I like
yeah.
that one.
It wasn't amazing. Could be way cooler, but it was still pretty cool.
Well, I
It
just
had Bryan
I-
Cranston in it being a badass, of course.
He was Bryan Cranston. I love Bryan Cranston, but he was a good actor, but he wasn't a badass in the movie. He was like hobbling around on that leg, like I don't need to fuck up.
Well, he's always a badass.
Ryan Gosling's yelling at him like, "You always fuck up, Bryan Cranston. You and your fucking gimp leg." I'm sorry.
He's always a badass because it's Bryan Cranston.
Well, I like the simplicity of what Drive is. It Drive?
Drive fast. Whatever. It has cars in it.
Faster.
Drive fast.
Gosling drives a car. We'll call it that. Gosling drives driving.
Even though there's hardly any driving in Drive.
Yeah, that's one thing. There's not enough driving for a movie called Drive.
Well,
I think that was
the
someone's
simplicity.
complaint actually. An actual movie critic. They said not enough driving in this movie Drive. I'm like,
But you got people getting stabbed in the eye with a fucking fork, and Ryan Gosling just going after a guy with a hammer, and the part where he like puts the fucking bullet in the guy's mouth so with a break, I'll bust your fucking lip. That part was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It wasn't like amazing, but it's pretty sweet.
And it just flips a switch because it goes like, okay, they say fuck once or twice, and there's a little bit of language, so I guess it's an R-rated movie. And then there's the part like, that bitch's face just blew up, you know? And then the guy,
That part's so badass.
and then like the guy comes through the window, and they're at like the shower curtain, he like breaks off the pole and impales the guy with a shower pole. It's like, holy shit, what happened, you know? No, that was I like that one.
Yeah, it's like when there was action movie, it was really badass. But
Yeah.
well, that seems like a good place to end it at.
yeah.
Yep.
No
But-
internship talk.
Fucking
No,
internship.
yeah.
That's all we got to say about that
Yeah.
movie.
Fuck
Vince Vaughn
internship.
after Lost World. Fuck Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
It makes me, when I see that trailer, it makes
What
me...
about Dodgeball?
Dodgeball's
good,
alright.
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
He's got some good stuff.
moments.
He's a good.
Into the Wild.
When I think of Vince Vaughn, though, I think of like Lost World, and I think that like his pinnacle like acting.
Into the
point.
Wild, he was good in Into the Wild.
Into the.
Vince Vaughn's in that.
That's how good he is. You didn't know he was in it.
How did he play in that?
He played
But he's
the
a
part,
good-
Oh no, I know what you're talking about when
the
he was,
almond farmer or
yeah,
whatever.
when they're working on the farm, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
Vince
have to
Vaughn.
watch Into the
And
Wild.
he got
again.
arrested for the black box thing, black cable box.
Yeah.
You fucking lying.
No,
Look it
no.
up. Go watch that
Just
movie.
go watch the movie because it's that good of a movie.
Yeah, it
that
is a
movie's
good
like a
movie.
4 out of 4 movie.
Yeah.
If we rate scales, rate movies on a scale of 1 to 4.
We go to 4.
Yeah, Leonard
Do we?
rates it on. You don't deviate from the Leonard.
Leonard Maltin.
Leonard Maltin.
I can't completely trust Leonard Maltin's opinion anymore because he gave
He's getting old.
Well, he's getting old and confused. He gave Dark Knight like 2 stars, but then he gave like Wanted like 3.5.
He gave
stars.
Batman Forever 3 stars.
Yeah, so it's like this
What's
does
wrong
not
with
make
Wanted?
sense. What?
Oh, I get Batman.
Wanted? No, Wanted. Well,
Wanted was good.
It was kind
Not
of
Dark Knight good.
It's not Dark Knight good. It was
Let's
Wanted
rephrase
was
that.
Wanted. We're talking the Curve in the Bullet movie. We're on the same page, right?
Yeah.
I'll say this. That's a movie that I don't think it's good, but for whatever reason, I kind of like it. Every once in a while, you have one of those movies like I know this is bad, but for whatever reason, I find it kind of entertaining. It's not an amazing movie, but I just find it entertaining. But I know for a fact, Dark
bad
Knight, it's fucking science. Dark Knight was made better
If
than
you went down to a
Wanted.
chemistry lab, you would figure out that Dark Knight was better.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
If you melted those 2 DVDs down, did a lab experiment.
It's one of Wanted. I think it's one of Tamir's Beckentoff's, whatever his name is. It's like one of his only.
It's better than Nightwish.
Yeah, but
Or Night
Watch.
Night Watch,
yeah.
Nightwish is a different movie.
He makes a lot of terrible movies, but Wanted is actually entertaining. And plus, it had that dude from X-Men First Class.
McAvoy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was good. It was just the whole like curve the bullets. I mean, there are moments where it's kind of all right, but there are
Can
moments.
Batman curve a bullet?
Batman doesn't need a curve a bullet.
He curves a batarang.
He curves a batarang. He could punch a fucking bullet if he felt like it.
Yeah. He's Batman.
He's Batman.
Just clarify, the real Batman, not our Batman. Anyway.
He can punch a bullet. It just hurt.
Yeah.
He's like, oh fuck!
He can control his metabolism to his breathing. So if he can do that, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have to worry about a fucking bullet.
But anyways,
But that's a good place to leave off at.
yeah.
So I'm Spencer Scott Holmes,
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
I'm Marley Silverbrand.
and we will see you some other time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.